up, fish tank people? FishtankTV.com, Dustin'sFishtanks.com, bringing it to you a midweek style. Had a lot of people in this video wanting to know more about the passive CO2 that I'm doing, so I just wanted a quick 2-second tour of more about the passive CO2 I got going on in the greenhouse. Alright, so here's what's up. I've got these upside down containers, and yeah, they're unsightly, but they're so functional. And I had some good questions, so I feel like I owe you all a video response on it. But essentially, my whole thing with CO2 is the amount of contact time that the CO2 has in the water, okay? So people say, well, why don't you take a power head and chop up the bubbles and then shoot them into the tank, you know, put like the output of one of those of the CO2 into a power head and then shoot it out. That's fine. However, I still think while that does put CO2 into the water, I still think that that CO2 can escape out the top. With this, I've got it upside down and I can see, you know, how much CO2 is being absorbed. Now look, I'm not testing the CO2 levels, but what I like about it is when I get full sun, I mean, you know, straight up the full real deal sun, you can see some purling going on here. Something's purling off of the side there. You can see some bubbles coming off of that. And now, grant you, one would argue, well, dude, you've got the CO2 running. Yeah, of course your CO2 levels are full. I don't have the CO2 running on this one, and you can still see some bubbling coming off of the Epongeton here. The Madagascar lace. I always like to throw potassium in there, and that always makes them bubble up real nice too. So I just wanted to show that. Also too, you can see I fill these up in the morning, and it's like noon, a little after noon here. You can see that much of the CO2 has been pushed into the tank, a little bit out of there. You can see some bubbling back there. So I keep my CO2 levels high with it, and then I'll show you. Brian did a hell of a job cleaning up the goldfish tank, by the way. Then I'll show you how I'm doing it over here, and you can tell that the plants are happy with this because, like, look at the rotella. See how the rotella is all like standing up on end and is real open and real liking it, particularly up right there. That's a good sign. That's what you want to see when the plants are at like max grow. You can see some good purling coming off of the Sagittaria chilensis there. So that's what I'm doing. So I believe that the constant contact that this CO2 has in the water slowly, passively diffuses it into the water all day long. I also don't waste much CO2. I turn these on for like 10 minutes. I go for a run in the morning. They fill up, and then they sit all day long, and they slowly get lower and lower and lower. So that's what I'm doing. Here's another video with Steve talking about his CO2. There's some nice looking cribs purling as well. So that's what I got for you folks. Tank on. Later.